Welcome to Let's Talk Writing with Kerstin and Edwina,
coming to you from Madangi country
in Babinda, Far North Queensland, Australia. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about writing and yoga. Very important. So Edwina, why are writing and yoga such a good combo?
Well, I love it. And actually, it can be any physical practice. It doesn't have to be yoga, as long as you're listening to your body. But it was the yoga that called me and became a great practice in my life. Actually, it's the greatest healing tool that I have ever encountered. And the combination with writing has been wonderful, because I was from a very emotionally blocked family culture. And when I started doing yoga, it was just so I could look like Elle Macpherson. And that did not happen. But the unexpected bonus was...
taking up surfing for that one. Anyway.
But what happened was that my emotions started to rise to the surface, which made me terribly uncomfortable. And I spoke to the teacher and they said, well, that's how yoga works, because yoga is much more than just a physical practice. It releases the trauma from your body, so that I would get stories arising. And so it's physical, mental, helps you calm your mind, but it also works on that deeper level, releasing emotions, which of course then leads to a calmer sense of being as well.
But also, for example, I discovered yoga when I was doing my PhD, and it was literally because I thought if I learn how to stand on my head, maybe I'll get a lot more blood flow in there and I'll write a better PhD. Not sure. But yes, I think also yoga teaches us as you're on the mat and you're progressing. Each session you get better. You open your hips more. You're getting better in your standing poses. And the same, it's sort of, for me, it's been a really good example of what can happen if you apply yourself with routine and discipline in that part of my life. And the same obviously can happen in your writing, but I need to bring to my writing the same discipline that I bring to anything. And so in the case of physical exercise, in yoga, I don't always feel like an hour and a half of Ashtanga and sweating and, oh my God, another downward dog. But of course, over the years, I have really seen the improvements. And like you said, the stories, especially if you're doing life writing, they live in your body. And especially the traumatic stories, they get stuck in our bodies. And yoga is a way to soften and to release and to listen inside and to allow for that to come up. Yes.
So I started doing yoga in about 1990, but it wasn't until 1993 that I got introduced to the Ashtanga school, which was just somebody in Cambodia gave me a sheet of paper with a series of postures drawn in little stick figures. But I was hooked, and I've had a daily practice every day since then for about 28 years now, almost at my 29th birthday in September. But what it did was, apart from bringing up all that emotion, was really made me disciplined. I don't know whether I was born disciplined, because as a yoga teacher, it's the hardest thing to do, is to get anybody to do something every day. There's always other things to do. You've got to get up, you've got to have your coffee, you've got to do this, you've got an appointment. But carving out that time in my day is the best thing I've ever done. And the motto for Ashtanga is do your practice and all is coming. And that's true. There's 10,000 hours before you master anything. So if you can apply that to your yoga and whatever practice you're doing, and then it will just bleed over into your writing.
Yes, because we have this misguided notion of creative genius will come to you eventually. And it doesn't work that way. And I really found Elizabeth Gilbert wrote that book, Big Magic. And she talks about there is this sort of romanticized version of the writer who will just, becomes an alcoholic from staying up too late and getting the ideas that way. It's actually, she is an example of that. Not every writer has to get up early at 6 o'clock, but she sits at her desk at 6 o'clock and she says it's like any other job. You show up and you do the work, and some days you have a bad day and other days you have a good day. So yoga allows us to be in union. I mean, if you come back to the meaning of the word yoga, it means union, that continuum of mind and body, that it needs to be seen as working together in synergy. So.
Yes, and I think it's just a good way too to slow down and listen to our thoughts. So, of course, you don't have to be a yogi to be a writer, but a physical practice is very important because our job as writers is to sit there with a screen, and now we've got laptops, we're all like this as well. So our posture's very bad. So
hence the
yes,
chair yoga.
The chair
you can do lots of good chair yoga.
Hand twist. Lots of different tricks that you can learn to release yourself, but it's also too about we're very sedentary. So whatever you're writing, you'll need to get up and out. So lots of writers walk.
Yes.
So that's a great practice. But I would advise not listening to the podcast or music with lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen to music if you must, but really what every human being is battling with is that busy mind and that critical voice. And then they wonder why you can't go to sleep when throughout all the day we're feeding ourselves constantly with images, other people's thoughts, other people's ideas, where we need time to just sit with our thoughts. Otherwise, when we're going to sleep, sometime you have to unplug and then it will all hit you like a barrage. Whereas if you walk and let the thoughts come, and that's where inspiration often strikes too.
So just make sure you bring your notebook though. Would you advise that?
I remember them. If I have a good idea, you throw out all the rubbish though. I've got to, I want to pick up the thing from the shops and why did he do that? And he treats me so mean or,
Shouldn't have said that.
yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, why did I say that?
Cheated.
Yeah, forget all of that and just focus on, there's an idea. And then I will retain that idea. But if you're bit scatterbrainedy, then definitely bring your little notebook.
Yes.
Bring your notebook instead of your phone, people.
Yes. So what is a good yoga pose? I love Shavasana, and actually my yoga teacher used to always say it is one of the hardest poses, even though it seems to be the easiest. Shavasana actually translates as corpse pose, so you become still like a corpse, and that's really hard. And the idea is not just your body becomes still, but also your thoughts, so you just watch them come and go like in meditation.
What I like best, and what I do in Shavasana, which is really Yoga Nidra, and which I include in all of my meditations that I do with everywhere I teach writing, is that you go into your body. So you relax your body, because we're so much, especially modern people, we're just buzzing around. And then if you bring it all down and just inhabit your body fully right down to your toes, all of a sudden there is no busy mind.
Yeah.
So coming into that, but I would also, and especially for people who are grieving or traumatized, a gentle heart opening posture that everyone can do is just to put a pillow or couple of pillows under your back and lie back on your bed with your heart lifted and breathe into your heart, just gently relaxing and breathing into your heart and asking your heart, what's going on? How do I feel today? How am I really feeling? Because we'll all just say, I'm fine, I'm really fine. Then you go a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And from those feelings, you will find stories arising.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And you'll find where the urgent stories are and the ones that need to be told. So do we have a prompt for writing in yoga?
Well, I would start with doing that heart pose and just writing about what am I feeling. The more we can express our emotions on the page, the better. And how can we show that? Or perhaps you'll get a story coming up. Write the story that arises.
Yes, I often do with my students. I mean, we both run retreats and we both combine yoga and writing exercises in our respective retreats. And I often actually ask my students to bring the journal to the mat with them, and they just write right after they come out of Shavasana. Sometimes I do a yin yoga practice with them where they hold the poses for longer, and they really are encouraged to listen and feel into the body, and then maybe write about what came up. where did you feel a blockage,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so on.
I run a similar course for the Queensland Writers Centre where we met weekly and would do a pose or a different pose and then write about that part of the body that was particularly
I think
stretched
I need to
or
move to
something.
breath bank.
So there's lots you can do, and remember, it doesn't have to be yoga, but do something that brings you into your body every day, even if you're out there weeding the garden, feeling the sunshine, listening to the birds.
Happy writing.
Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Writing with Kerstin and Edwina.
And here are our links. Please follow us and leave comments. Happy writing.
That's good.